What if I told you that the secret to sounding exactly like a native English speaker isn't having perfect, flawless grammar?
Right.
What if the real secret is actually learning how to complain about your life effectively?
It sounds completely counterintuitive, I know, but it is deeply true.
Yeah.
When we study a new language, we spend so much time trying to present uh, this polished, perfect version of ourselves. We memorize vocabulary for job interviews or formal emails.
Exactly, the shiny stuff.
Right. But human connection doesn't happen in the shiny, perfect moments. It happens in the friction.
The friction, I love that. And that friction is exactly what we are focusing on today. So, welcome everyone to a very special deep dive right here on Tim's English channel. We are thrilled to be sitting here with you.
We really are.
And because we are speaking directly to you, the dedicated English language learner, we are setting a specific ground rule for our conversation today.
Yes, we are deliberately adjusting our pace today. We are going to speak clearly. We're going to avoid throwing highly confusing, localized slang at you. And we're going to maintain a relaxed, deliberate rhythm.
Right, so you can actually follow along.
Exactly. The goal is for you to absorb the mechanics of the language without feeling rushed or overwhelmed.
So, our mission today on Tim's English channel is to give you the precise linguistic tools to talk about your daily struggles. We are looking at the messy reality of being human.
Yeah, because nobody's perfect.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Because when you can admit to a coworker that you are exhausted or tell a new friend that you completely failed your diet today, you are offering them a bridge. Vulnerability builds trust.
It really does. Before we can start dissecting our daily habits, though, we have to look at the mechanics of the language itself.
Right.
Like, how do we express difficulty in a way that sounds natural rather than sounding like we're reading from a textbook? The sources we are diving into highlight 3 foundational phrases that native speakers use constantly.
Okay, let's lay out those core tools for everyone. The first one is I struggle with.
Yeah.
For example, I struggle with math, or I struggle with waking up early.
Yeah.
But I want to push back on this for a second, or at least ask the question I know my students are asking right now.
Go for it.
Why not just fall back on the classic, I have a problem? Like, I have a problem with math.
Well, it is a great question because technically I have a problem with math is grammatically correct.
Right.
But language is about more than just grammar, right? It is about emotional resonance. Think about the word problem. When you say, I have a problem, you sound a bit like a mechanic diagnosing a broken engine.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. The car has a problem. It feels cold, absolute, and somewhat unfixable.
Right. It sounds like a permanent defect, like there's a broken part inside of me that needs a screwdriver.
Precisely. But the word struggle carries a completely different psychological weight. If you look at the roots of the word, a struggle implies a wrestling match. It is an active, dynamic process. When you say, I struggle with math, you are telling the listener that the math is difficult, yes. But you are also implying that you are fighting back.
Right, you're trying.
You are making an effort. It is a shared, ongoing human experience, not a broken machine.
I struggle with. I like that. It just feels so much warmer and more resilient. Okay, what is the second phrase?
The second phrase shifts the focus slightly to the passage of time. It is, I have a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
You hear this everywhere. I have a hard time saving money, or I have a hard time cooking.
I use that one constantly. It feels slightly less intense than struggle. Like,
Yeah.
struggle is climbing a mountain, whereas I have a hard time is just navigating a really bumpy road.
That is a brilliant distinction. Struggle is heavier. I have a hard time is perfect for everyday lower stakes annoyances.
Makes sense.
And that brings us to the third core phrase, which simplifies the structure entirely by leading with the difficulty itself. It is hard for me to. For instance, it is hard for me to exercise, or it is hard for me to learn new vocabulary.
Okay, so just to lock those in for you listening at home, I struggle with, I have a hard time, and it is hard for me too.
Exactly.
Let's take these shiny new linguistic tools and apply them to the very first hurdle every single one of us faces, the morning battle.
Oh, yes. The universal negotiation that happens the second the alarm goes off.
Let me set the scene, because this literally happened to me today.
I can't wait.
So, it is 7 a.m. It is pitch black outside. The bedroom is freezing cold, and the blankets are creating this perfect warm cocoon.
The best feeling.
Right. And then the alarm starts screaming, and all of my grand ambitions from the night before just vanish.
Completely disappear.
And this is where we encounter one of the most fascinating mechanisms of modern life, the snooze button.
Yes. Hitting snooze is essentially a failed negotiation with your own biology.
It really is. I tell myself, I just need 3 more minutes. 3 minutes and I will be fully refreshed and ready to conquer the world. But it's a complete lie. I hit it 3 times today.
There is actual sleep science behind why we do this, you know? It is a state called sleep inertia.
Sleep inertia.
Yeah. When your alarm interrupts a deep sleep cycle, your brain is flooded with melatonin. Your logic center isn't fully online yet.
Oh, wow.
So when you tell a coworker, I struggle to wake up early, or it is hard for me to get out of bed, you aren't just complaining about laziness. You are describing a literal biological hurdle.
I struggle to wake up early. But here's where the story gets really interesting. We tend to think of hitting snooze as an isolated event. Like once you are finally out of bed and dressed, the morning battle is over, right?
Not at all. And this is the crucial through line in our sources today. The daily struggles are not isolated at all. They are deeply interconnected.
A domino effect.
There is a ripple effect. Exactly.
Right.
Because you've forced your body into fragmented, confusing sleep cycles, by hitting the snooze button repeatedly, you have essentially accumulated a biological debt.
And the debt collector always comes knocking in the afternoon.
Exactly. This brings us to the next massive daily hurdle, the afternoon slump.
Oh, I know it well.
Because of that morning struggle, your circadian rhythm takes a massive, unnatural dive around 2:00 p.m.
A 2:00 p.m. crash. I know the exact physical sensation. You are staring at your computer monitor and suddenly your eyelids feel like they are made of lead.
Yes.
The only thing I want in the entire world is to crawl under my desk, use my jacket as a pillow, and take a nap.
So how do you express that feeling naturally using our new phrases?
Well, I would say I have a hard time staying focused after lunch. Or maybe I struggle with my energy levels in the afternoon.
Perfect.
And what happens next? Because I can't actually sleep under my desk, I try to cheat the system. I go to the break room and pour myself a massive, ridiculous cup of coffee.
Which perfectly bridges us to the fuel we use to fight these struggles. The afternoon slump isn't just about sleep debt. It is heavily influenced by how we feed our bodies.
Diet. Okay, it is confession time on Tim's English channel. I have a major, undeniable weakness.
Oh. What is it?
Sugar.
Ah, yes.
I go to the grocery store with the best intentions. I buy spinach, I buy kale, I buy carrots. I tell myself I am going to be healthy.
Right. We all do that.
But when I am in the middle of that 2:00 p.m. slump and my brain is screaming for instant energy, I have a genuinely hard time saying no to chocolate. Sweet food completely bypasses my logic.
Notice the phrasing there, which is perfect. I have a hard time saying no to chocolate. The biological mechanism at play here is fascinating.
Is it?
Yeah, when you are tired from the morning struggle, your brain seeks out the fastest possible source of glucose. You aren't lacking willpower. You are fighting evolutionary biology that wants dense calories to keep you awake.
Okay, that actually makes me feel slightly better about the cookies I ate yesterday.
You're welcome.
But I know that sugar rush is a trap. It gives you energy for 30 minutes, and then you crash even harder, which sabotages the evening.
Exactly. The sugar crash destroys your motivation right around 5:00 p.m., which leads directly into my personal nemesis,
What's that?
the gym.
Ah, the exercise avoidance protocol.
It is a massive struggle. You sit at a desk for 8 hours, your brain is exhausted, your body is lethargic from the sugar crash, and the idea of changing into workout clothes and lifting heavy objects feels physically impossible.
It is the ultimate internal debate, and the body is so good at rationalizing it. You convince yourself that resting is actually the healthy choice.
That is the tomorrow trap. I tell myself, I am clearly too tired today. Going to the gym would be a bad idea. I will be fully rested and I will definitely go tomorrow.
Of course, tomorrow.
But of course, tomorrow is just a concept. When tomorrow becomes today, the cycle repeats. I struggle to go to the gym after work.
So instead of the gym, you go home and you sit on the sofa. And sitting on the sofa almost always leads to what might be the most universal modern struggle we face today.
The smartphone. Screen time.
This is the big one. It is almost like a linguistic treadmill. You feel like you are moving, you are consuming information, but you are completely stationary.
I love that analogy, a linguistic treadmill, because you sit down to relax and you tell yourself, I am just going to check the news for 5 minutes.
The famous just 5 minutes lie. Why does our brain accept that lie so easily?
Because 5 minutes feels like a low-stakes commitment. The friction to start is 0. But smartphone applications are built on a variable reward schedule, very similar to a slot machine in a casino.
Oh, wow.
You swipe, you get a tiny hit of dopamine, you swipe again, another hit.
So you check social media, then you watch a short video, then you read a comment section, and suddenly you look at the clock, and that initial 5 minutes has magically evaporated into an hour and a half of completely wasted time.
And when does this hit us the hardest? At night, right before bed.
Yep.
The blue light from the screen disrupts your melatonin production, ruining your sleep quality, which loops us right back to the freezing cold morning and the snooze button. It is a closed loop of friction.
Wow. I struggle to put my phone down. I have a hard time limiting my screen time at night. These phrases are so useful because they explain the entirety of the modern human condition.
I really do.
But there's a fascinating layer to all of this. For the person listening to us right now.
You mean the meta struggle?
Yes. Think about the irony. We're discussing the struggles of waking up, eating well, and avoiding our phones. But for the listener, simply trying to understand this conversation, translate the vocabulary, and master the grammar of a foreign language well, that is an immense struggle in itself.
It absolutely is, and it is vital that we validate the reality of that journey. Anyone dedicating their time to Tim's English channel is doing something incredibly taxing on the brain.
Language learning is full of friction. You spend 2 hours on a Monday deeply studying a list of vocabulary words. You feel confident. Then Wednesday rolls around, you try to recall the word for snooze, and your brain just hands you a blank sheet of paper.
The feeling of memory decay is so frustrating. But beyond the memory mechanics, there is the social friction. The sheer nervousness of opening your mouth to speak English in front of a native speaker. The fear of sounding foolish.
It is hard for me to speak English in public. I hear that from students constantly. The anxiety is real.
It is. And while we always encourage making mistakes as a natural part of learning, we also want to equip you to avoid the most common, easily fixable traps.
Definitely.
When English learners try to express these struggles, they often fall into two very specific grammatical pitfalls. Let's look at the mechanics of why these mistakes happen.
Let's do it, because understanding the why is what actually makes the rules stick in your memory. What is the first major trap?
Well, it involves the word hard. Students want to express that an activity is difficult for them. For instance, cooking. But instead of the correct phrasing, they directly translate the structure from their native language, where the speaker is often the direct subject of the adjective, and they say, "I am hard to cook."
Wait, I am hard to cook. Okay, if a student says that to a friend at a dinner party, the friend is going to be incredibly confused and probably a little bit alarmed.
Highly alarmed. Let's unpack why that creates such a bizarre image. In English, if you say, "I am hard," it usually means one of two things.
Okay.
It either means your physical body is made of an impenetrable material, like concrete or steel, or metaphorically, it means you have a severe, unforgiving, and deeply unpleasant personality.
Right. So saying I am hard to cook literally translates to the native speaker's ear as, "My body is made of stone. Please try to boil me in a pot of water."
Exactly. It completely changes the subject of the difficulty. The activity of cooking is the thing that is difficult, not you as a person.
Right.
Therefore, you cannot start the sentence with "I am." You must use the dummy subject "it." The correct natural phrase is, "It is hard for me to cook."
It is hard for me to cook. That shift changes everything. You are pointing the difficulty away from your physical body and onto the action. That makes perfect sense. What is the second trap we need to dismantle?
The second pitfall is what we call the "am" trap. A student trying to express difficulty will confidently say, "I am struggle with English."
I am struggle. I hear this one all the time. Why is the brain so tempted to put am in that sentence?
It comes down to foundational learning habits. When you first start learning English, the very first verb you master is to be.
Right, I am.
Yeah, I'm happy, I am tall, I am a student. It becomes a comfortable linguistic crutch. So when learners learn the word struggle, they treat it like an adjective, but struggle is an active verb.
Oh, I see. It is an action. You wouldn't say I am jump or I am run.
Precisely. You don't need the crutch. You just connect the subject directly to the action. You must drop the am completely. The correct form is simply, "I struggle with English."
I struggle with English. It sounds so much cleaner, so much more direct. Just let the verb do the heavy lifting.
Let's contrast them one more time so the rhythm gets into the listener's ear. Incorrect is, "I am struggle to wake up." Correct is, "I struggle to wake up."
If you could just sidestep those two traps, remembering to use "it is hard for me" instead of I am hard and dropping the am before struggle, your conversational English is going to instantly level up.
It truly will. We have navigated through quite a bit of linguistic and psychological territory today.
We really have. And rather than just reading a dry list of definitions like a textbook, let's see if we can weave our 4 core vocabulary words into a quick, relatable story to lock them into your memory.
I like this approach. Let's hear it.
Okay, here is the story of my morning. Today, my biggest struggle was waking up, entirely because I have a terrible habit of checking my phone in bed, which drove my screen time through the roof last night, meaning I desperately needed to hit the snooze button 3 times this morning.
That is a perfect, extremely relatable integration of all 4 words: struggle, habit, screen time, and snooze.
It is the circle of life, or, well, the circle of fatigue. But truly, the overarching theme of the sources we examine today isn't just about vocabulary. It is about how we use that vocabulary to interact with the world.
Absolutely. Sharing these daily hurdles, admitting that you hit snooze, that you skipped the gym, that you have a hard time with English grammar. This is the currency of human friendship.
It really is.
When you say, I struggle with this, you are giving the other person permission to lower their own armor.
It is relief. They almost always respond with, oh, thank goodness, I thought I was the only one. I have a hard time with that too. That shared imperfection is where the real bond forms.
It breaks the ice instantly and genuinely.
Now, if you found today's deep dive helpful, or if you just enjoyed laughing at my terrible sugar habits, please take a second to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and share this audio with a fellow language learner.
Yes, please do.
It is the best way to help Tim's English channel grow and reach more people who are navigating this journey.
We deeply appreciate the time you spend with us, trusting us with your listening practice.
But we aren't quite finished. Listening is passive, and to truly lock in what you've learned today, you need to produce language. It is time for our call to action and the question of the day.
We want to see you use these tools immediately. Down in the comments section, we want you to answer this specific question. What is one daily struggle that you have?
Think about your routine. Is it traffic? Is it finding time to read? Type your answer in the comments right now using the exact structures we covered. Start your sentence with, I struggle with, or it is hard for me too.
It takes bravery to type out a sentence in a new language, but this community on Tim's English channel is built to support you. We read the comments, and it is a fantastic way to turn passive listening into active mastery.
Now, before we let you go, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to mull over.
Oh, I like these.
We spent all this time today learning the language to express our struggles. But look at the direction technology is moving.
What do you mean?
Well, with the rapid advancement of AI and real-time translation earpieces, we are quickly approaching a future where the mechanical struggle of learning a foreign language might be completely eliminated.
Oh, right.
You could just speak your native language and AI translates it perfectly, instantly.
It is a very real possibility in the near future.
But here's the question. If technology entirely removes the friction of learning how to communicate with each other, do we lose something profound? If we don't have to struggle together to understand one another, will we lose the very vulnerability that makes us form deep human connections in the first place?
That is a brilliant point. If there is no mountain to climb, there is no shared victory at the top. Something for everyone to ponder as they go about their day.
Embrace the messy reality of the climb, my friends. Keep practicing, keep making mistakes, and keep showing up. We will be right here with you next time.
Until then, take care.
Have a fantastic day, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.